In this video, we are going to be designing a brand identity for a skateboard brand I made up called Mixberry Skate Co. From the initial idea to the final product, I'm super excited to step you through my process. I have been wanting to build a skateboard brand completely from scratch for a while. No stock imagery, no artificial intelligence, just my own photos, sketches, and ideas. There are some more obvious goals with this, which is exercising my creativity and, of course, having fun. But the reason I'm documenting this and showing this to you is to show you that art is accessible and you can have fun and make really cool stuff with the things that are in front of you every single day. The first thing I decided to do, which I feel like was a natural step, was to create a logo. Now I know I used a bold sans serif, but let me pitch it to you why I decided to do that. First, I have to let it be known that the bold sans serif I did choose has a little bit of funk to it, a little bit of uniqueness at least, and I did a lot of customization for it as well. I wanted it to feel like a font you might see on like a fancier packaging from my area that would be like kind of like a Trader Joe's or a Whole Foods. Because our main logo was this bold and simple typography that I intend to build on later down the road, I also wanted to make kind of a badge or icon that is just as recognizable, a secondary logo, if you will. That's where I came up with this simple triple circle design. Not only is the circle just a reference to a common shape of a berry, but the purple representing a blackberry, the red representing a strawberry, and the blue representing the blueberry gives us a lot of potential, and it was a way for me to kind of have different branches of the brand, which might sound confusing right now. Let's get into it. I wanted little cartoon characters that were memorable and almost functioned as alternate logos, and I ended up making alternate logos with these little characters. I wanted them to feel like they were a part of the same brand, but be able to kind of carry their own collection or piece of the brand. It almost feels like a situation in skateboarding where it's like pick your starter Pokemon, one of these three characters. You can have them on t-shirts or skateboards or whatever, but first I had to get to sketching and creating them in the first place. I took photos of skate shoes that I have owned over the years and put them into a canvas on Procreate with the respective berry that I wanted it paired with. That was just me like building my own reference out of images that I've taken, kind of my stock imagery per se, but it's everything that I have taken photos of. I actually have some footage of me in my office here, just right behind me, setting up white paper on this wall back here and white paper on my desk and setting up berries and taking these photos again just to show that things are accessible. This is like, I don't have a professional studio to use, but I can set up a mini one on my desk and use these photos not only for these berry characters that we're talking about right now, but I use these photos throughout the entire project. You'll see that soon. Anyway, I'm super happy about how the berry characters turned out. I'll put them on screen right now. They're all so fun. I would love to know your favorite. The strawberry seems to be doing the best on my Instagram, but the blueberry one is certainly my favorite. Just to kind of reiterate again too, like where my brain is at, it's just like skateboarding and the branding of skateboarding is so free and open, and you can kind of do whatever you want. You look at like modern skate brands, they can get kind of crazy, and so I just wanted these characters to add to Mixberry Skate Co.'s visual identity. I wanted you to be able to see these characters out in the wild by themselves without Mixberry Skate Co. as a logo just like underneath it or next to it or whatever, but you'd still be able to recognize these goofy little guys. But now that these alternate logos were made and these characters were ready to be built upon even further, it was time to make skate graphics, which I was really looking forward to. Now, skate graphics are really interesting in the graphic design world and photography world, I guess, because those ads you see on the covers of like skate magazines, right? Or on Instagram even, the terrain and obstacle that the skater is skating can be just as important as the skater, sometimes even more important. So maintaining a visual balance with these graphics was certainly at the forefront of my brain. Like I said before, I also wanted to take these photos. I didn't want to use stock photos. That is fortunately pretty accessible to me. I grew up skateboarding and have a lot of friends that are willing to let me take their photos. But also, just for like the spirit of this project, I wanted to go to a skate competition and get my own stock photos. I just want a quick shout out at Skate DSM. This is a organization up in Des Moines, Iowa, which is somewhat local to me, that let me come up and shoot photography at their event. It was just me asking them kindly, and they said, sure, yeah, come up and shoot photos. It was one of the coolest photography experiences of my life. Just these incredible skateboarders doing amazing tricks and capturing photos all day was so fun. Once I had these photos, I needed to come up with like a campaign per se, a mock campaign to use these photos for. Like, what is kind of the tagline of our brand, and these graphics are going to kind of set the tone for how we're gonna look visually all the time, like an Instagram feed or a website. How is it gonna look? I came up with the tagline "Made to Bruise," which I'm still really proud of. The first thing I did is stylize my photos to look like colored film photography. You can see it all throughout colored film photography, and I think of like 90s and 70s films at times with this kind of style. The reds and yellows are like super boosted, and the grain kind of gives this wonderful texture that I really, really love. This stylization choice for these photos isn't any more significant than just being what I enjoy. The way everything ended up playing out is I used the photos of the skaters overlaid on top of the photos I took of the strawberries, blackberries, and blueberries. I think it would take a probably very observant eye. You'd have to look at it for a little bit longer, but the idea was that the skater, the photo of the skater with the logo, is the label on top of a jam jar or a jelly jar, I suppose. If I haven't already, I'll make sure to put them all three on the screen right now. Let me know which one's your favorite. I have a hard time choosing here between the strawberry and the blueberry. Those are certainly my two favorites, but theoretically, these would be in a magazine or on Instagram, etc., the Made to Bruise campaign, which was really, really fun to put together. Maybe the most fun I had the entire time. But there is one more big piece in terms of the production process that I still needed to tackle, that I was really excited to tackle, which were the animations. Now, I've always had a really big interest in mixed media, so I was really excited to do photo-based animations, especially because they were photos I took at the skate contest. Now, one question you might have is why I chose to do vertical animations as opposed to horizontal. And that's because I just happened to have a lot of extra photos that I just happened to shoot in vertical as opposed to horizontal. It kind of like, there was no big choice. It just kind of played out that way. And I wanted all of them to have the same dimensions. Again, kind of feel like a series, but have their own individuality, which you'll see here soon. The process for this was first editing the photos to stylize them the way I want. In the graphics, we did color film. So in these photo-based animations, I actually did a stylization after, like very inspired by black and white film with that texture. And of course, it's in black and white. I then took each of these frames into Photoshop and separated the skater from the background and added this kind of outline that you see happening around them, which was really fun. I had never animated in Photoshop like this. This was my first time using Photoshop for an animation related thing at all. I then drew on top of those animations using just like a Wacom tablet, which was really, really fun drawing on top of it. Made it feel extra mixed media, and the lines that I'm drawing within it are kind of complementing the form of the skater in that frame and weaving in front of and behind the skater. The idea was to kind of visualize the energy and movement in each frame independently with those lines. I hope you enjoy seeing them. I'll play them all on screen right now. Let me know which one's your favorite. If you enjoy them, I think my favorite is the purple one in this case. Obviously, this project took a very, very long time, and in one YouTube video, I didn't show you everything, but that doesn't mean you can't see everything or have a closer look at what I have shown you. What I have shown you, you can take a closer look at cooper.judah.art on Instagram, or you can take a closer look at it on my website, plus bonus things where I used like mock-ups online that didn't quite fit the narrative of this video. They were just kind of an extra piece to kind of show the application of these things, like on a skateboard, on a t-shirt, etc., etc. If you watched the video all the way to this point, make sure to hit the subscribe button if you already haven't. I really appreciate it. And thank you so much for hanging out. This project was so fun. I have a lot of cool stuff on the way. I just got this fancy new microphone and started this new channel, and I'm excited for what's to come. There's already projects in the works. So again, thank you so much for hanging out, and I'll talk to you soon.